Good evening, AOBE members, BISD teachers and employees, and Brownsville community. Veronica Borrego, AOBE president here. We are going to have an awesome show. We have right next to me, I can't put my hand over here, Miss Aida.
Hello, everyone. I hope everyone's having a good day.
And then we have one of our one of our AOB board members, Miss Tanya, here in the house. Hello, Miss Tanya.
Hello. I was running, but I'm here.
And then we have a special guest with us, a BIS teacher that is going to be here for a few minutes just to kind of share with us how it's going for her in the Reading Academy that we have been tasked with.
Yes.
So before we start, it has been a busy week. I'm very grateful. We received an email today. T-test is for this year. Woo! Even though mine was already done, right? My 45 minutes was done. But I'm happy to say that some of my fellow coworkers are going to be
Nice. I didn't know that.
Yeah, we got an email today, so very excited. Thank you, Dr. Trevino.
Absolutely. We do thank Dr. Trevino on that she was able to submit and push for that for the teachers to get their T-test evaluation waived, for this year. That's one of our main things that we're pushing as much as we can to remove off of the workload and caseload off of the employees right now, what we can, especially our teachers. Every employee is important and we're trying to take care of each one. But right now there's a lot that is falling on the teacher's plate with having to split themselves in 10 different ways and to do face-to-face, to do virtual, to do so many different things. And then, of course, one of the hot topics is the Reading Academies on top of everything else, So that's one of the issues that we want to speak about today. But yeah, today was good news on the T-test getting waived. So that is awesome. So we're going to continue to push as much as we can to let's remove some of these things off of our plates and stuff. So yes. But some people might not be familiar with the Reading Academies. So if you can just briefly touch on that, Vero, if you want to maybe just for a minute or two, so the people because not everybody is having to do the Reading Academy. So if you want to maybe just talk about it, so everybody else knows what we're talking about. And we're hoping to have a good conversation here, and the input is absolutely welcomed here because we want to see what it is that our members are going through and the issues that they're facing on this. So we're hoping that people can comment. It's a safe place. Whatever it is, if you want to have it commented under somebody else's, but we need to know what it is that you guys are going through with this.
Yes, so Reading Academy is apparently a TEA directive, I guess. And we do have until the year 2023 to complete. However, the district is doing it in phases. And so this year it applies only to elementary teachers at this time. This year it is some special ed teachers and first kinder and first. That's who is doing the Reading Academy this year. I am one of the victims. I'm going to call myself a victim because it's horrible. So this Reading Academy is a 12-module academy. Each module is upwards of 5 hours, depending on how much time you spend reading the different articles, watching the videos. And then, of course, that does not include the time you have to spend to come up with discussions, to take the quizzes, to do the pre-test, to do the post-test, to plan lessons that we have to record ourselves doing. So that's basically what this Reading Academy is. But I want to go to our BISD teacher because I want to get from her thoughts and her feelings, because she as well is doing this Reading Academy. And so I just want her to kind of give us some examples and some ideas of what's been going on with her.
Oh, okay. Is that my
Yes.
That's your cue.
So it's been really exhausting, and I feel like for first module where we had to like introduce ourselves and all that, it was just like, why, for what? And it's just we're staying up. A lot of us are staying up until maybe 2 a.m. To work on this, and it's frustrating because with everything that's going on with COVID and having to do stuff online, instead of spending time on researching like new platforms for our kids or any unique situations that are coming up, especially us in special ed, you're too exhausted, or you just don't have the time to do that because you're focusing on this reading academy that for some of us, a lot of the info, like, it's nice. I like some of the stuff that's there, but a lot of it is stuff that we were taught in college. And I do believe in professional development, but this is just like I don't even know what to call it. At the beginning of the year, I was enrolled in some other college courses and I had to drop out because it was just too much. There was no way. When I heard about the Reading Academy, I thought, okay, it's gonna be, like other trainings, but this was like a college class I've never even, 8 answer choices, 8 answer choices that are so similar. Our eyes, we're in front of a computer all day. Our eyes are playing tricks on us now. And then having to do that and having to look between 8, 9 answer choices for something that like a lot of us already, know, is just very frustrating. It's very frustrating. And it's just sad that we don't have time to look into things that are more important for our kids right now, because it's something that a lot of us, most of us, have learned already in college. And I just feel like a lot of it is tricky. Like they're just like it just seems like they're trying to trick us, you know. And I just feel, a lot of us, we have scripted lesson plans. Like what is the point of us, just what is the point of it, Again, I feel like it does have some nice things. There are some nice things that I've taken from it, but I don't see the point of having to have all these tricky questions. And I feel like they are treating us like kids, where they're not trusting us that we're reading the content, and they're trying to just trick us with all these weird quizzes and discussions instead of trusting that us, professional adults are reading and are, actively, engaging in these articles and stuff. Because again, a lot of it I do like. A lot of the stuff I do like. There's activities that I like that they're doing, and it's sad that it feels like they're not trusting us, that we're actually reading it. And then I mean, my emails are flooded with this and that, and I submitted a video of my lesson on January 5th, and right away got an email that I had to again, and corrections that I didn't understand. So it's just frustrating. It's frustrating. I feel like the corrections were like more about their like it wasn't anything specific like with content. It was more like their preference. So that was kind of frustrating, because I mean, us as teachers, I thought it was something for us to be creative and our own take. And I feel like they kind of want us to do like more what they, like their preference, their style, their, and that's just not the case. Every teacher is different, has a different, we have the same content, but we present it differently. And I feel like they're not giving us the freedom to do that. So it's just
so when you're getting the stuff returned, it's not because your answer was wrong, right? Like you're just told it should have been done this way, in other words.
Way, like for an example, I was using my arm to like syllables, and she preferred more like a magnet, like with and I just feel, okay, so I'm gonna have to waste like another 10, 15 minutes, you know what I mean, instead of doing something else more productive for my students, that it's immediate need, it's
And
something.
we sometimes, sorry for interrupting, sometimes you have a need for a student and you have to meet that need.
Yes.
And then clock in for your class on time, but you still have to the afternoon like maybe to plan a lesson, but you still have to go back because you have to review it.
Yes.
You have to resubmit it.
Yes, exactly. And it's just there's just like, oh well, my email's open right now and I already got another notification. And
How many, if you don't mind me asking? Okay, so then because the Reading Academy, this is something that, and it's coming down from TEA. Okay, so and we're trying, and believe me, we're lobbying it at the state level as well. That this is the worst time that they could have, tried to push these requirements, out of all times. So we're hitting that at the state level as well. But then it breaks down to the different cohorts that are going on here at BISD. And with the feedback that we've gotten so far, it has been different from the different cohorts that are going on. So, and we're not going to pinpoint as to who or what, but a lot of the constructive criticism that has come back from this certain cohorts has been, it hasn't really helped in the sense of, okay, because you want to have that attitude of how can I grow from this? What can I learn from this? What can I take from this? Especially right now, because in everything we can pull certain things that are going to help us grow in our profession. And what you guys are experiencing so far, you guys are not getting any of that back from this, or what is it that you guys are just, it's just not helping at all?
There's like very well for me with the type my students very little. Like I would say not 10. I'm being generous by saying 10%.
That's very generous.
Yeah.
Melissa, I'm sorry. Our BISD teacher and I, we teach the same population of students. And so a lot of this is not something that can be implemented in the classroom at the level that it's at in this course, which is like a master's course or higher. It's I just finished my master's last year.
I teach regular ed, in the regular ed. And I don't think I'm going to use the diptongos, yatos, la sílaba. Even when I teach regular ed at kinder level, I don't think the content that I'm learning, which what BISD teacher said, it is going to help me enrich my knowledge and enrich my Spanish. I have a bachelor's in Spanish. I have a minor in translation. I was raised in Matamoros. I moved to the United States when I was 19. Everything that is presenting is enriching what I already knew, and I'm remembering everything I learned when I was doing my bachelor's degree, and I took some master courses in it. That for me is enriching my knowledge. But when it comes to my teaching, and I understand in my experience that when I was returned an assignment, like BISD teacher said, it wasn't because it wasn't answered. It was because I did not mention the tics in particular. I just said it in my own words. So I had to go back, copy the tics, and put it there and restate what I had said before. So for me,
but did the question ask you to list the tics? Did the question ask that?
It just said there, like, according to the tics, how would you give the lesson?
Yeah.
And I said, like, I would do the lesson this way, but I didn't, like, specifically say K.1. Like, I didn't say the tics. So I had to go back, add the tics, and then say my answer again.
And then email the person to tell them that you resubmitted, so that then they can go back. I had an assignment returned. I'm a resource math teacher. I teach math, but I was told I had to take the Reading Academy, so I'm taking the Reading Academy. And I have to take the bilingual part because I'm bilingually certified. So I was returned an assignment when I was at one of the assignments was asked, how would I implement or how would I do this in my classroom? So I gave an example with a math lesson, and it was returned to me because it's supposed to be reading. But the question is asking, how would you do it in your classroom? Well, I'm a special ed math teacher. This is how I would do it. So then I had a response about how now I have to start go looking for a book that I can integrate into. I'm like, I don't have time for this. I told you how I would integrate oral language into my math lesson. Why do I now have to go find a book? I don't have time for that.
Now, okay, I have a question for a BISD teacher. Around how many emails or messages, I don't know what it is that you're getting at, but around how many messages do you get in regards to the Reading Academy?
Oh my goodness. I would say at least 7 a day. I would like right now. I just got one right now, and I had just like deleted a few.
So you can actually go in and change settings as to what you receive.
Yes.
So I did block a whole bunch of them, and even blocking a whole bunch of them,
Yes.
I still get 12, 13, 14, 15 a day.
And I also I had a situation where whatever they're called, the leader or whatever, she emailed me that I was missing an assignment, and then so I go back and I see that I did it and I got 100, so I screenshot it and send it to her and say like, what exactly are you talking about? Look, here's the proof that and then she goes, oh, sorry, no, I meant what, because you know how it's so confusing, 4.6.1.3 and so I understand how she got confused, but I just wish they would be as forgiving. You know, if they're getting confused, then that's because they're they're full-time, I'm assuming full-time job or whatever. I mean, I don't understand how they can't think that we're not going to be, like, and I feel like they're so strict, yet
Like
if
they're
they're also having some, difficulties, I don't understand how they can't extend us some grace and some, understanding, and that's what I feel like. They're the opposite of understanding. They're not giving you room to be creative, which I feel that's one of the things about being a teacher is being creative. And so it's just, and then even more so when it's just not very relevant to your students, for your students,
Yeah.
Exactly.
Now, one of the things that we are trying to encourage and working with the district on is to see if there's some type of support that can be given to the people participating in these academies, as far as a half a day or a day per week for PD to help you guys, because this is ridiculous, the amount of hours that go into each of the modules and the research and assignments and all these different things. So again, we will mention, because we give credit where credit is due, and Dr. Trevino is trying to see what can be done on that. What is something that you guys feel would be able to help you guys with this, that what you all are dealing with? Because all three of you are in the academy. And so what do you guys think, especially, let's put BISD teacher first, since she's going to have to leave in a little bit. But what do you recommend that you think would help you?
Well, our campus was really generous and they did give us a day. But unfortunately, my situation with my students, I couldn't do it. I need to be there with my kids. I couldn't do it, like with my class. But we were given the opportunity, which is great. But I couldn't, and it's because of my I just couldn't. I can't do it. I need to be very hands-on with my kids. We're short-staffed, and there was just no way. So that I think is great that they're letting us do that, and that they were generous to do that for us. But for some of us, that still is impossible. It's impossible, and a substitute. And I know it was offered a substitute. I can't. With my kids, I need to be there. And we have aides, but I also still, I just need to be there. And so that solution, unfortunately, wasn't like for me. Yeah. But for others, it did work out good for them.
Right. So like she's saying, they were very generous. We did get a day. Even that day, I didn't finish my module at 7:45. And like, as soon as I got there, and my eyes were crossing and burning. My only break was my lunch hour. And then I went all the way until about 2:50. I did. I took a potty break. I did my dismissal, and then I went back for another like 30 minutes before I left the campus, and still didn't finish a module. I don't think that is. I don't understand why TEA has made it the so long and so tedious, and the fact that it's long and tedious is one thing, but for people to be returning assignments and to be nitpicking on things that we as teachers really and truly right now we don't have time to be focusing on those little bitty things. We don't even nitpick with our own students. Why are we being nitpicked? It just doesn't make any sense to me. It's when you walk down the hall and you see your coworker frustrated and almost in tears, and you have to tell them, just turn it off and walk away. Just turn it off and walk away. And they're telling you, they make me feel like I don't know what I'm doing. I've been a teacher for over 20 years, blah blah blah. And it's an amazing teacher.
Yeah.
But when somebody is nitpicking and returning stuff for little things, it's demeaning to a professional, and that should not be being done. It should not be being done. We're already overwhelmed with all of this, and then to be nitpicking over little bitty things, it's upsetting.
Yeah, and I think that defeats the purpose of what this is trying to do. You know, and that's where we need to help you know, both sides to try to get a clear message of what the other side is having to deal with. So that's why we wanted to have that conversation on tonight's show, to get input from different people and what they're experiencing, and hopefully we can get this you know, further up to whoever it is that you know, and it's Region 1 that is overseeing these academies. So we are bringing it to their attention as well, to see, so they can see what it is that the teachers are experiencing. And it's not just one person complaining, because on the survey that we do send out, because we try to get input as much as we can from our members. And there was a good 50 some people that did express major concerns about these academies, and a lot of it was on the feedback that was being given on the assignments. The assignments were not clear. There were, you know, the teachers interpreted it one way, and then after submitting their assignments, on the other end, it's not exactly what that person was looking for, and then shot it back, and then having to redo the whole assignment. So right now, I think a lot of us in the public school entity don't have any extra hours to give. You know, we wish we could pull out extra hours throughout the day from somewhere, but we don't. And you know, and that's why it's important to have this conversation, to see what it is that you guys are experiencing and what can be done. What can they do to help? If you know what, TEA, the monster of TEA, which, like I said, we're trying to deal with as well. But if they're having it out there and that's what they're requesting, you know, let's see what we can do on this end. You know, between everyone, so we can get through this this academy. You know, until it's changed at the TEA level. So I was just curious. So BISD teacher, about how much time do you think per day you put into this academy?
I would say at least 2 to 3 hours a day.
Per day?
Yes, and I'm only on module 7, you know, and it's 12.
Are you on schedule, or are you behind? Because I've heard a lot of people are behind.
Well, I guess not really, because I think by the end of the month we have to finish 7, and I think this one 7 is the longest one from 1 to 7.
Yeah, the module 7 they said is over 9 hours.
Yeah, it's
over.
Oh my
goodness!
And
wow.
That one is due on the 28th, I believe.
And let me ask you something. Like, you know how when you start a module, it tells you the amount of time you're going to spend on the module. Are you spending just that time?
I spend more. I feel like I spend more when they're asking for, you know, that they didn't like the way you did it or worded it. And so I feel like I'm spending more than that. And
Because when I would return an assignment, now every time I'm going to submit an assignment, now I stop and think about what I'm going to answer now. Because since I was returned, now I make sure I go back, and if it says a tick, that I click on the link, I see the ticks, I get the tick, I input the tick, and then I answer my question. Because since my assignment was one of them was returned, now I'm second guessing myself, and it says 2 sentences. I make sure I put 2 or 3 because I don't want my assignment to be returned. So if I was going to spend the 7 hours, now I'm spending 8 hours just overthinking my answer because it's like I don't want that to be returned.
Yeah, because the feeling that you get when you see that assignment is returned as a professional is like, so I don't know what I'm doing. Like
You're starting to second guess everything you're doing.
Yeah. And then you read it and it's like, it's an opinion.
Yeah.
So just because that's your opinion doesn't mean my answer is wrong and I should not have to resubmit.
Yeah.
That is correct. You want to read some of the comments and see if there's anything else like
Yes,
people are
the first
commenting?
comment I'm going to put up is for BISD teacher because I know she's going to have to go in a bit. So I just want her to see.
Oh.
Yes, you too.
All right. Good evening, Miss Peppermint.
Hello.
Hello.
Hi, Miss Cortez. Hello, Miss Lupita. Good evening. Good evening, Nelda. It's apparent that the district forgets we have families and a life. Every additional thing we do is after work hours and we aren't getting compensated. And that's a big deal, Miss Ida.
Yes.
That's a very big deal. While I understand that it is not the district that is, it is the district that's requiring us to do the academy right now. However, it is not the district that is returning the assignments and putting all these comments that are making teachers feel inadequate.
Yes.
And on top of that, we're still not getting compensated for it. So
correct.
the Reading Academy sound like a college course, but you don't get a degree or pay raise. Can TEA just add requirements? You are correct. It is worse than a college course because my master's classes were relevant to my job, and this is not. And no, we're not getting a degree on it, and we're not getting a pay raise because of it.
Mm-hmm.
So
That
can
is correct.
they just add whatever requirements they feel? Yes, they're working from home. They have a lot of time to create whatever they want and add to our plates.
Yeah. And that's a whole other show that we could talk about TEA and the changes that they do and how we feel about them. But yeah. It's sad.
Thank you for also pushing back on forethought and Schoology. Always, we're that
Definitely.
anything that is it. I actually feel like it is excessive paperwork because it is stuff that is repetitive. You need to go, BISD teacher.
No, I think I'm good for like another 5 minutes.
Okay, perfect.
awesome.
If you need to go, just wave at us, and that way I can let you.
Okay.
So we can say bye. Okay.
Sorry.
So yeah, Schoology and forethought. It's just another something else that's been on top of everything else. They also need to cancel TELPIS, EOC, and T-Test. So T-Test, we did get the email today, so that's perfect. TELPIS and EOC is still on.
Yeah. We're working on it though.
Yeah. The students will not be academically successful because they know the standards. Exactly. Can Ida share her background, her experience as a teacher, principal, administrator? Ida does not work for the school district. Ida is TSTA staff.
Correct. You should talk. Are they talking about me or they're talking about BISD teacher?
Ida.
Oh, okay. Yeah. No, I do not work. I am not in the BISD district. I am full-time TSTA employee.
She's here to help advocate for us. That's what she's here for, Mr. Peters. Are the administrators also doing the Reading Academy? Yes, some of them are. I know that there are some principals. I believe the deans are doing the next round. The deans will be, I'm not sure if there's APs right now, but I do know that for sure there are some principals. Good evening, Ms. Barbosa. Thank you for joining us. Mr. Castro, the bottom line is that TA makes up programs because it makes someone money.
That is so true. I have to agree with that on that. And that's what is very upsetting, the politics in it. It's making somebody some money, and it's so upsetting that, they don't stop to think of what it does on the other end. And we're just burning out the educators in the process, especially at this time. This was the worst possible time to roll out such a program, and especially with the timeline that they did. So, but yep, Mr. Castro is right on the money for that one. Someone's making a lot of money on this.
No pun intended. He's
Yeah.
right on the money. Have you seen the district email about waivers for T-tests? Is there some ulterior motive?
On waiving the T-tests, or what do we mean?
I mean, I was excited about it. I mean, they already did my observation anyway, but I was still excited about it because I can pick whether or not I want it to count, right? But I don't know that there was an ulterior motive. I know that for sure next year everybody is going to be observed because they're trying to push that TIA. So I don't know if maybe that's what he's referring. Is that what you're referencing, Mr. Vega? Let us know. Treated like we don't know and like we can't be trusted unless there's an overlord standing over us with a whip micromanaging us. Big and it's insulting. Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
It is big time insulting. Before the pandemic, being a teacher was getting very stressful. After pandemic, it's just impossible to keep up with all the extra requests.
Yes.
I feel like they feel like we're not doing anything.
And that's the thing.
They're
I heard a comment.
trying to think of things to add. Like, oh, you know what? They're online. Let's just give them this again.
They have a lot of asynchronous time. That's the comment I heard. That since you have a lot of asynchronous time, you can do it during that time. But like I'm grading, I'm planning, I'm listening to my parents, looking
We're
for
calling
the
parents. Yep.
Like that day, there was a day that I was like, I sat down to do the reading academies like around 2 in the afternoon and finish until 7 because my hope, I try to do it during the day because in my campus, they didn't give us a day. They gave us half a day, like to connect in the morning and then just be available for parents and do it in the afternoon. We weren't given a day, but we asked for time. And they say, okay, for this 4 days, you can just connect in the morning and then give your students work, be like on call in case a parent needs you, and you can do it in the afternoon. But that day, I had so many parents reach out to me that I started at 2 and it was 7 o'clock and I was still working on the Reading Academy because I have a deadline to meet.
Yeah. On top of the fact that all of this is piled onto us, we have deadlines we have to meet as well.
Exactly.
So it's
wow. That is crazy. So do you feel also you're getting the same type of comments, Ms. Tanya, on that as far as feedback? You're getting assignments returned to you as well?
Mm-hmm. And I was like talking to some teachers and I haven't submitted the assignment, the last one for the sixth, what is it called? The one that you were talking, teacher.
Artifact.
The module 6?
I haven't submitted the artifact because I'm really, really nervous because I have a friend that submitted it 3 times. And if you can take off the comment, Vero, please, I'm gonna show you. She was doing this. I have a word with 2 syllables. So if I have a syllable, if I take away one or substitute, she was using the hands and she was told only to use one hand. And then she used one hand and then she was told not to use any hand. Yeah. So she submitted it 3 times. The first time she was just saying, hey, boys and girls, like, no, she had to be looking at the camera and she had to be like using, like first she would use the hands, then only use one, and then don't use any hands and you stare at the camera and do it slowly. So it was just a matter that the person that was grading it didn't like the way she was doing it. And she got it returned 3 times. So now I'm double thinking my artifact. And I have I'm thinking maybe put on the back behind my computer, just do those posters so I can be seeing at the poster on top of my computer because I don't want her seeing that if I have any notes here. I don't know if she's going to return it because I'm looking down. So I'm just overthinking all that. So I just had a teacher reach out to me and say, you know what? This is the 3rd time. I don't even know if he's going to accept it. Some teacher was talking too fast. So she had to start talking like this because it's
wow.
So I haven't submitted it because I'm like rehearsing it first.
No. And get this, Ida, I'm bilingually certified, so I have to take the bilingual one, right? Never in my life have I taught a bilingual class. I've never taught anything in Spanish, but I am certified. I am put into the bilingual one. I have to give a lesson in Spanish.
In Spanish.
I wouldn't even know how to do that. I'm going to have to figure that out. And apparently it's probably going to be returned 50 million times. I mean, I don't know. And I don't even teach reading.
Is there a limit on how many times y'all can submit it?
I have no idea. And I don't want to find out.
Fine. I think it's just the deadline.
I'll probably find out and I'll let you know. Because it's going to be like.
It's not okay. It's not okay that it is being returned based on an opinion. I could understand if it was a multiple choice and I got them all wrong and you had to return it to me because I failed it or whatever the case may be. But because you didn't like which hip I used, the tone that I used, the speed that I used. I mean, really?
Yeah.
That's your opinion. If I were to turn it to somebody else, maybe their opinion would be different. So why don't you pass me to the one who's going to accept it? I don't have time for things to be returned. I'm sorry. You asked me a question about what we're doing at my campus level, and I respond with what is being done at my campus level to help my kids with oral language, and you return it to me and tell me I need to look at the district website. You put the link. The question didn't ask me about the district. The question asked me about the campus. I am replying. I graduated my master's with a 4.0, and you're returning me a discussion question because I responded to what the prompt was asking me, and you feel like I need to be looking at what the district, then word the questions correctly. On top of that, we get an email saying there was a large number of people who got that question wrong. Well, you know what? As a teacher, if I see a lot of my students got that question wrong, it's two things. I taught it wrong, which in this case, that's not what's happening because we're doing modules. Or two, the question is worded incorrectly.
Absolutely.
That's not on me.
Yeah,
I'm
that
sorry.
is so true.
It's not on me.
Yeah, and by the amount of people that have been sharing, very similar stories on this, that's why they need to look at whoever it is that's grading these assignments or overseeing it, and that's what I was hoping to be able to cover here tonight, because it's been a lot of one-on-one conversations about that, but I just wanted to see what else we could get from our members out there, and how they feel on it. So I think a lot of them share the same feeling that you guys are sharing here. I mean, you guys are three different teachers in three different areas that are experiencing the same thing, and I just want to be able to find a way where this is going to be effective. If it needs to be done because TEA is saying that, and yes, how David shared, and they're making somebody money up there, my gosh, and then it's heartbreaking to hear that if anything, you're getting maybe 10% out of this, where it's going to help you in your classroom setting. That's really, really sad. So there has to be a way where this is going to be able to get tweaked, and they're going to be able to work with you guys a little bit better. So this is good information. I'm taking down notes on it, and it is going to be shared higher up, and we're going to see what can be changed, because it's heartbreaking. It's upsetting to see you guys are getting pushed further and further to the edge each week and each day that we go by. And so I'm glad, and if anybody else out there wants to share on the comments area what it is that they're experiencing, what recommendations they have on this where it would help, please do share.
And I can understand if you're going to give me constructive criticism. If you're going to tell me, look, when you did it, maybe next time try to say it a little bit slower, just because for articulation purposes, whatever, but don't return it to me and make me redo it. You want to give me a tip, you want to give me advice, perfect. But you know what? I took the time to submit that. I took the time to plan for that. How dare you return it to me just because you didn't like how fast I said it?
Hmm.
Who are you? Are you the king of the world? Are you the, like, I don't understand what compels people to be so ugly and demeaning towards professionals. I don't understand that.
Yeah, it's not building you guys up. It's not helping you in your profession at all. In fact, like Tanya says, it's making everybody second guess themselves. And right now we're in a
And we
time.
don't have time for that.
Yeah, no, right now we're in a time where we're already second guessing ourselves as it is through this pandemic and this new method of teaching and with all the changes that we're having. And this isn't helping, and it's not helping anyone. I have yet to hear anybody say, "Oh my gosh, these reading academies! I'm just learning so much from it. I am a better person now for it that I entered this." No, not one person has been able to say that I have at least not heard that. I've heard just a lot of horror stories about it, and it's just not right. So, but if anybody else wants to share anything else that they're experiencing, but I mean, I think you guys covered quite a bit on it, and I don't know if you want to check the rest of the comments, Vero, and see if there's anything else that we can cover on there.
I'm just going to say goodbye to BIS teacher because she's got to go. But
Yes.
thank you so much for joining us. I know that this is a nerve-wracking thing for you. It's hard for people to come on, and show their face. And I get that you put BISD teacher. I apologize, I screwed up a little earlier. But Molly agrees with me that I messed up.
Yeah.
But I'm very thankful that you're speaking, because people need to know that it's not just me, it's not just Ida, it's not just Tanya. There's other teachers out there that are going through this, so I really appreciate you coming on. Thank you so much.
Thank you, ladies, for everything you do for us. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, and please hang in there. Do not give up on this. You just continue to submit them, and you don't let this question your ability as a teacher. Okay,
Definitely.
so you continue to hang in there. It's gonna get better, and we're gonna get through this. Okay.
Thank you, ladies. Thank you so much. Bye.
Bye. Okay, so you want to continue on the comments so we can see?
Will this program give you another certification? No, Ms. Rocha. In fact, it will not. And we're not getting paid for it. No, Ms. Gonzalez, we are not.
Nope, that's sad.
Why didn't BISD assign this reading academy during the summer? Absolutely ridiculous. And see, okay, here's the thing. I get that it's coming from TEA, but I agree with Ms. Poland when she says BISD figured out when to do it. There would have been a better time. And even during the summer, it still would have been us doing it on our time, and we still probably would not be getting compensated and all that other stuff. But guess what? I wouldn't also have to be doing lesson plans. I wouldn't also have to be figuring out platforms for my students. I wouldn't also have to be teaching online. I wouldn't also have, there's so many things I would not be doing that would provide more time, but it is what it is.
Yeah.
We are where we are now. It is ridiculous. Module 8 and 10 are the longest. Module 10 has the next artifact. Ugh.
Oh my goodness.
I can't even believe you're on module 8.
I was about to say, wow, that's amazing.
I'm barely on module 6. Like, it's crazy. It's just crazy.
Wow. Lori, I'm
I'm
sorry. Give me a second though. Lori, can you direct the private messages? I want to know which cohort you're in. Who's your contact person that you're dealing with? Because that's impressive that you're on module 8 and 10. Or, if you already know about module 10, my gosh, so then she's on 10 or what?
Probably.
Oh my goodness. So please message us to see which cohort you're in, please.
Yeah. Will TSTA be addressing this concern with the education committee that is in session?
Yes, and we are, Ms. Rocha, as you might know, that we have been addressing some of the different concerns with our local legislators, so they can address them in session. This is definitely one that has climbed up in that priority list because we were addressing the different topics. Which one we've met with Mr. Eddie Lucio III, and we have some other upcoming meetings with the other local legislators. But this is definitely one thing that is going to be addressed.
Teachers have already been through college and we have passed our state exams. Now all these trainings are a waste of time and nonsense. What are we getting out of this? What's the point?
Absolutely.
Great
That's-
question.
That's the question with
That's
all
the
of this.
That's the $1,000,000 question.
Mm-hmm.
What happens to these deadlines when teachers get sick or are out on leave and end up in the hospital? See, I want to know that too. What happens if we don't meet a deadline? What happens?
Yeah, that's what I was going to ask you guys, if they have covered that with you all, especially
No.
right now with so many things that are coming up. You know, a lot of people are being out because of things like that. So what happens to them? And we'll I'll definitely get an answer about on that. But I was wondering if that had already been covered with you guys.
No,
No.
I can't answer that. I don't know what happens.
Because I do know that there are some that are very behind on the modules. So you know, because you can only do what you can do. And there's some that are still like on 1 or 2, and nothing has happened so far, but I know they have to find a way to go along on the modules and catch up. So, but I will find out on that. And that's something that is a good question.
It's a good question. Unfortunately, us that are taking the modules don't know what the answer is.
Exactly.
Good evening, ladies. Hello, Ms. Sanchez. They're canceling T-test. Yeah, so we got an email that for this year, T-test is waived.
Nice.
It's all nonsense. Can we just say no to all these trainings and not take them?
I don't recommend that right now. Just try your best, Ms. Gonzalez, whatever you can to keep up with them. Please try to do that. You know, you got to, of course, your health comes first, your job comes first. But you know, let us know what it is. You know, communicate well with your contact person on the academy. And if you cannot keep up, why? Please explain to them, and then let us know if that's not working. If they're not working with you, please do let us know on that.
According to the 86th legislature, all admin are required to do the literacy academy. They too should be doing this now, not wait for some other time. So that's what I'm saying, Ms. Rocha. Right now, in this phase, is what the district is calling it. The principals, some of the principals are doing it. And then the second phase, when it's second and third, I believe the deans will be doing it. And I don't know if there's already some APs doing it or whatever, but yes, they are required to take it as well. But they are also doing it in phases like the teachers. So I know for sure, like for example, at my campus, my dean is not taking it this year. She is going to take it next year, be in the second phase. And theirs is different than ours. It's a different.
The same. Is it as long?
I believe it. I want to say it is as long, but it's different because it's not applying to the classroom. It's applying to the campus and different things at the campus level.
Okay.
They haven't shared T-test info on our campus. My colleague was observed today. No bueno.
And that's sad because, you know, they put that teacher under, even though it's not going to count, but they put that teacher under a lot of extra stress.
Yep.
It's communication at the district level.
I missed what was mentioned about T-test. Will you fill this in? So we received an email today, Tuesday at the board meeting. They voted for the waiver for the T-test. Thank you to Dr. Trevino for submitting that. So T-test is waived for this school year. Will the waiver of T-test affect campus or teachers who applied for that grant? Okay, so that is the one exception. There are 2 campuses
That is correct.
that are not going to be waived the T-test because they are a part of the TIA initiative or whatever you want to call it, and they cannot have their T-test waived because that is a part of the requirements to be receiving the funding. So those campuses are not exempt from the waiver.
They're exempt from the waiver.
Exempt from the T-test.
Correct.
I don't have asynchronous time because I have face-to-face students. Exactly.
Yeah. Imagine those that are teaching. You have face-to-face students. You have synchronous. You have distance learning students. And I mean, when?
Right. Exactly. We have a lot of upset parents complaining that students cannot sit all day on the computer. I think we really need a short school day. The day work schedule needs to change. I think that they have it the way they have it because we have to have a certain amount of minutes. I think.
Yes.
Asynchronous time with the face-to-face students is not asynchronous time. No, it is not. It is definitely not. Seriously, trying to demonstrate instruction, activating audio, visual, and kinesthetic strategy modes, that was not accepted. Maybe the appraiser of the lesson needs to relearn how to appraise. And so here's the thing, Ms. Rocha, that is the issue. All of these things are being demonstrated in a video that was returned 3 times because first you didn't want 2 hands, then you want 1 hand, then the speed, the tone, it is ridiculous. It's not right. It is not right. The person appraising shouldn't be an appraiser. How about that?
Yeah, and I mean, how long? When was the last time that person was in the classroom? You know, those are the things that you also need to look at. And you know, you guys have gone through so much in these last 11 months that no teacher is the same. If they've been teaching for more than 11 months, no teacher is the same. And so this appraiser, what are they, what have they been looking at? What have they been dealing with? When was the last time they were in a classroom? That's what I want to know.
What is the point of you disrespecting a professional that way? What are you getting out of it? Instead of being compassionate and understanding and saying, thank you for taking the time to submit this assignment. You did great. Here are some tips for the next time.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
I'm sure that's how many teachers feel about walkthroughs. It's their opinion. Doesn't mean the way the teacher did their lesson was wrong. But even 20-year teachers still get anxiety. Yeah, we all get anxiety, Mr.
Very
Castro.
true.
And the anxiety and I think anxiety is exacerbated when you're stressed. So just the stress of knowing that I've had 2 assignments returned. The discussions, I haven't even gotten to the artifact. Really, Molly? She almost knocked down my computer. And then just the stress of knowing how many people have had stuff returned, it's freaking me out. I literally I sit at the computer and my heart starts racing when I get to a quiz or I get to a question now because I'm like, oh my God, it's going to be returned. And then I start getting frustrated because I'm like, oh, they're probably going to return this one and blah, blah, blah. And then you start second guessing yourself. And then like Ms. Tanya, then you're like, okay, should I turn it in? Should I not turn it in? Let me look it over again. Let me get my neighbor to come look at it. Is it right? Is it not? Why do we have to do that? It's not fair.
And then I go back and say, did you say 2 sentences or 3 sentences? I'm going to make sure I did the 2 sentences or the 3 sentences, maybe even 4 sentences to see if that goes through, right?
Right. It's upsetting. Overworked and underpaid. That's right, Ms. Sanchez. It is ridiculous. Beyond. You have to teach to the students' individual needs, especially a SPED teacher. This academy is not geared for a SPED, and it is not. It is not. So I am doing this 12 module, 1 million hour course that has nothing to do with my resource math class, and yet I still have to do it. And that's just me that's doing resource math. I mean, it's ridiculous. I just can't. The estimated time is a joke. It takes so much more. Yeah, the estimated time they said was 60 hours. It is not 60 hours. It's not even 60 hours.
What I was saying. I keep asking all my teacher friends, do you see the time that it says there? Is it taking that time? Is it taking you that time? And everybody agrees it's not. If it says 7 hours, it took me 9. If it says 4 hours, it took me 6. Because like you're going through the videos and then you're afraid because you have a pre-test and then a post-test, right? So in the pre-test, it gives you what's supposed to cover in the post-its, but then you say, okay, do I write it down? And if I have a link, I want to click on all the links to see if that will give me the answer that I missed on the pre-test. And then I'm going to watch all the videos while I take notes or while I take a picture or while it's just too much. And like they say, you're worried about that, then you're doing the lesson, and a walkthrough comes in. And really, like some years ago, I decided, you know what, I'm just going to continue. And if my principal, my assistant principal, they don't like what I'm doing, okay, I'll talk to them and maybe have them observe again. Because, like, for example, just recently, there was like a SpaceX event. So I was talking to my kids about it. We're doing a lesson, and one of them says, do you know about SpaceX? And they're kindergartens, right? And they did all start talking, and I said, okay, this is a good opportunity for them to speak, right? Because they need to be bilingual and they need to be experienced in their English, and I'm going to correct. So I showed them a video about the launch, right? And I said, what if I get a walkthrough right now? I was like, okay. And I'm doing something that they're interested in, but like it's not like in the lesson. So yes, I mean, it's like the pressure of one thing, and then the pressure of another thing, and then the pressure of another thing. It's just like being too much.
Absolutely. Okay.
Is it for sure that T-test has been canceled?
Wait, are you sure? But are you sure?
Yes. It's been waived.
Yes, except for those two campuses that are excluded because they're in that teacher incentive allotment. So their evaluations cannot be waived.
According to the TA website, you all should have a guided instructor. We have a cohort leader who is on top of everything else, expecting us to join meetings for hours. I don't have time for that. I'm sorry. Like, there's really not an instructor. It's all module based. Miss Tanya,
I try also to like go into the Zoom meetings that she's recording every Wednesday. I went into my Canvas account, and then I went to the Zoom meetings, and he wouldn't let me go in, right? He would ask me for a password. I don't know if I was doing it right, wrong, or whatever. So I send her an email saying, like, I want to watch the video, the meeting, because maybe in the meetings I'm gonna hear something about the artifact, because I'm worrying about the artifact, right? And she says, if you log in through the Canvas, it's not gonna ask you for a password. So I said, like, well, maybe I did not see it.
no, it's not true. It doesn't
It's
work.
not true. I was like, even I felt bad because I said, like, maybe I did something that was not supposed to, or maybe I just missed something. So I just stopped when I was reading the email, and I went back and I tried again, and it wouldn't allow me. And but it made me feel like I mean, I was being like, I don't know, like I'm overlooking something.
No,
Maybe she's right.
it doesn't work. It doesn't work. It only works if you attend it live. And you know what? People cannot attend hours of live, on top of the fact that we're having to do hours of modules and everything else that we have to do.
Yeah.
Sorry. Lori is just awesome.
Oh, the one that's on module 10. Oh, there we go.
All modules, just pending to do artifact for module 10. Wow, Lori, congratulations.
Wow, that is amazing. Lori, can you text me to that number, the number that which is the 956-621-3011? I want to see if I can have a one-on-one conversation with you, Lori. And again, the number is 621-3011.
If we're on the bilingual path module, we have to do a Spanish lesson for the artifact. Yes. We have to do a Spanish lesson for the artifact. Some of the questions are in Spanish. Yeah. While I can read Spanish, it takes me longer to process what is being asked of me, because that is not my dominant language. And so just like a true EL student, right? ELL student, it's going to take me longer to process. So add that extra time on to my module, because I have to go back and reread it because it's not in my native language. So yeah, we have to do it in Spanish. Lord help me, pray for me. I don't know. Is AOBE making any kind of petition or lawsuit towards Governor Abbott and TEA to cancel the STAR test?
We are lobbying them at the state level in regards to the STAR test, and actually in regards to the bullying that is also going on, where they are bullying a lot of the districts, threatening them, holding over them this about funding. If you don't meet this or that, they threaten to pull funding and stuff like that. So yes, TSTA is, because AOBE is TSTA at the state level. So they are lobbying them and petitioning them on these different things and that's why we try to get as much input as we can from our members, because we forward the information on what it is that is impacting at the local level, so we can see what can we handle here at the local level and what can be submitted to the state level and national level as well.
Who leads each cohort? Comprehensive coach or blended facilitator?
The ones who lead Region 1 is in charge of the entire program. So the different districts are in charge of are being overseen by different divisions, I guess, of Region 1, because this was thrown on them as well. But in reaching out to the other school districts, because TSTA is involved in each other district here in the Valley, wanted to see what they were experiencing with this. And come to find out, it's in Brownsville that we're having this amount of issues with the cohorts that are going on here. So with that, there's concern. Is it just the people that are overseeing the Brownsville one? Is it just a few of the facilitators that are handling some of the cohorts? So that's what we're trying to see. But it falls on Region 1, and that's why we are reaching out to the district here locally. We are trying, and we are going to reach out to Region 1. We started to have some conversations on that, and if they don't listen, then we just keep going further up until we bring and expose what is going on with this. If it was just one or two people that were experiencing issues with this, then that's a different thing. But the amount of people that are experiencing issues with the reading academies, it's alarming. And we do know that Dr. Trevino already, this has been shared with her. She is going to look into some of the different issues as far as the passing rate, where everybody is at. So we will be updating her as to what is going on. So we're going to forward the complaints, the different topics and issues that you guys are having with them. So, but overall, it's Region 1, but Region 1 gets contracted and gets paid by the district. So the district oversees that. So bottom line is, we will take it to our local school board members and address our concern with them and let them know the issue that we're having. And especially if it's only certain facilitators at Region 1 that are doing this, and that's what we're trying to get to the bottom of. If it's only that, eventually it will get addressed to who it has to get addressed, because these are too many issues, too many complaints that are going on. So comenzamos, tratamos por la buena. We try to find a good way to get some positive change, and if not, we have to expose and bring out and do whatever it is that we need to do.
Rumor has it, I don't know if it's true, if you fail, you have to do it all over again.
I don't know on that. Has that been shared with y'all?
No, porque that would be like too much.
I can't even imagine having to go through it again. And I'm barely on 6.
That is a question that I will ask Dr. Trevino.
That already caused me anxiety.
Yeah.
Don't even go there.
I know. Which 2 schools? Falcon.
Porter. Falk and Porter are the ones that are excluded.
My back and neck hurt at the end of the day from sitting all day in front of the computer. I'm starting to get also like pain in my wrists and
Corporal tunnel.
yeah. What is unfortunate is that it is similar to the T-test, which will be used for TIA. It's very subjective. Yeah, it is.
Very much so.
There really is not a wrong answer, so they shouldn't be returning stuff the way they're returning stuff. Yes, Porter and Falk. Thank you, Mr. Vic. Not a teacher, but sounds very subjective. Yeah, it is.
Mm-hmm.
Politicians came up with this stuff, therefore we need to vote in people who are education friendly.
Absolutely.
Amen.
Public education.
When was the T-test officially canceled? It was waived. They voted for it on Tuesday of this week. As soon as I step onto campus, my stress and anxiety skyrocket because of all the things that are being thrown at us. Instead of getting shorter, my to-do list gets longer and longer. It's very true. And you know, I bought a planner for my iPad because I literally was, I can't. And so the iPad is synced to my phone and synced to my laptop. And so, I mean, like, getting the certificates you need for the TELPUS, the verifying and the rater and the verifier, getting you're having to do the modules because of more modules, so you have to do modules for that, and then calibration, and then for Miss Tanya, they're having to figure out how to do writing samples through online, and then you have we still have to do forethought trainings. We still have to do Schoology modules, and now they added more modules in case you have questions. You can now go to more modules. It's just. I mean, and I get it. What's it saying? I get it. You literally walk in tense and leave more tense because you're trying to figure out if you've met every single deadline that's been thrown at you. And for some of us, it's like, oh my God, I had to do what on Friday? Oh, I didn't even see that email. Probably because I had 30 emails from the cohort for the Reading Academy that pushed everything else down. It is so unfair to us as professionals that all of this is going on.
Absolutely.
The graders don't have skin on the game. That's the problem. No,
Yep.
They're literally sitting there, and this is all they're doing. So they have plenty of time.
Yeah, and they probably, like I said, they have not been in the classroom in a good amount of time.
Yeah.
It isn't right that some campuses won't tell us this news, and we're having more walkthroughs than we've had in years.
I will ask on that to see when all the campuses are going to be notified on that.
It is very hard because of some campuses. Like I do have a good relationship with my administrators, and every time that they made a walkthrough, I get a positive feedback. I don't feel like I'm targeted. I'm very blessed to be in a good campus with good administrators. At one time, the dean and the principal log into my class together, and they kind of apologized because they were there at the same time. And I said, like, no, that's fine. You both can stay. It's okay. I don't mind. Because like I said, that was years ago that I said, you know what? If I'm covering what I'm supposed to cover and I walk in, I mean, I'm just going to continue. I'm just going to continue because this is like real life. And one time they walked, when I was like dancing with the children, and I was saying like, because everybody was like having a hard time with money when I was introducing money, because it's a hard concept, like with coins and identifying coins. And I said, you know what, let's just take a break and let's just dance it out. And we danced and we were jumping up and down, and then an administrator walks in and I said, you can join us too, because we're taking a break. I mean, it's too much. But I'm so glad that they understand. You know, I didn't get any negative feedback or anything like that. But I had like that time it was 2. And then later when I connected again, it was the assistant principal. So that day I was observed by my assistant principal, by my dean, and by my principal. So it was 3 on the same day. And imagine if you don't have a good relationship with your administrators, or if you just very like get nervous when somebody walks in, because like with me, like I can talk forever, and if you walk in, I say like, come in, pull up a chair and sit here with me and just observe what we're doing. But there's other people that know that they're like very concentrated, and if somebody just distracts them, the whole like chain of thought goes out the window.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like, it's just a matter of like, if you're in a good campus, you feel good and you feel comfortable, then you're fine. But if not, imagine all the walkthroughs and everything else that we have on our plate.
And like you're saying, if you don't have a good relationship with your administration, those walkthroughs could be a kind of like trying to catch you, a got you moment, right?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Stressing the teachers will ultimately stress the students.
Absolutely.
It's super hard. It's super hard to not let that like get on you. Like and what stresses me more, and this is what I see from all the teachers I know. Like thank God I only know good teachers, because we're so stressed out because our priority are the kids, the students. That's my priority. My 20 families are my priority. So if you're throwing all this at me, I stressed out and I stretch too much because I still want to be there 100% for my students. But then everything else that falls on top of me, I'm so grateful that I haven't like broke down in front of my kids, which I always try not to, because they're little and they have to have like a steady and adult in their life, because the whole family, some families are coming apart, like family members are dying. They themselves, I have like 2 or 3 worry about the virus right now, so they call me.
Yeah.
And I'm not on the phone for 5 minutes. I'm on the phone for 30, 40 minutes with a parent, trying to calm them down and say everything's going to be fine. And then the child connects at 12, and I have to tell them everything's going to be fine. We're going to learn the money and we're going to learn the coin. Like, do you listen to that? That's money. So I have to like put on a brave face, because my priority are them. And it doesn't matter that last night I was like connected on the computer until 7, 8 at night, and I barely finished my module 6. So it's that's why it's so stressful, because we want to give them 100%.
Yeah.
And when we can.
Yeah, it's hard.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Juan Carlos Vega, can parents can refuse to take kids in person to test STAR. Yep.
You can refuse.
Yeah, you don't have to take your child in.
If my kids were in school, I would not send them. I would not. You do not have to send them. Right now is not the time. This year is not the year to do this. I'm sorry. I wouldn't send them for Telpas either. And you have, as a parent, you have that right. Mm-hmm. I mean, and a lot of people are starting to think, and I think we need to go into that conversation as well, even though all of these comments are very important, but I want to see if we can have the conversation as to how people are feeling about the rotation schedule. We are seeing an increased number of at most of the campuses. It's not every campus, but in most of the campuses, or a lot of the campuses, we're seeing an increased number of students that are returning face to face. So the issue is being that, and this is where your input is very important. We want to see what ideas you guys have, but it's getting a little bit more difficult to be able to make sure that the rotation schedule is offered across the board to everybody, because since there's an increased number of students going back face to face, and you have that 10 student cap ratio, then it's getting a little bit more difficult to be able to keep that. So one of the things that we were thinking of is, they have to utilize, transportation, staff, and things like that. Maybe they can help out with the rotation as well, also just to help to supervise and make sure, because they're pulling staff. Some of these campuses are doing an amazing job. The majority of them are. You just have some that, are giving a little bit of pushback and trying to, well, they're being inconsiderate of the things that are their staff is going through, but the majority of them are doing an amazing job to find people to supervise, to make sure that the social distancing is taking place, to make sure that the safety measures are being followed, and things like that. So you're pulling staff to do that and monitor that, but then you also have to be able to keep the different classroom sizes and things like that, and have everybody on a rotation schedule. So, I just wanted to get some feedback as far as, what do you guys think about that, since we're seeing an increased number of students returning to face-to-face, and according to TEA, the parents have the right to send them back. And that's what we need to see. You can't tell them, no, you can't send your child back to school. They do have that timeline of when they're supposed to be able to change, that open window of when they're able to do that. But still, they don't want to reject any of the students. You know what I mean? Because let's say something happened, something changed at home, and they can no longer be home. So they're trying to empathize with the students and family situation. So they're accepting the students, but it's making it difficult. So we know for the next window of how many are going to want to, come back face to face, it's expected to see an increase in that. And I think because a lot of people are feeling a little bit more comfortable because of the vaccine and this and that, even though we're still having high numbers of positive cases. So what do you all think about that? How do you all feel about it? What are your recommendations on it? How do you feel that the district can handle this? Because we have a shortage of subs. We do. I mean, the subs, most subs are your retired teachers, and they're not going to put themselves at risk for this. Plus, they cannot do it because it's so different from what they were used to. And they can't do the virtual or the half virtual and half face-to-face and all of these different things. They cannot. Hybrid. Yeah, they're like, the heck with that, and they're just not doing it. So there's a big shortage in subs. So because some of these campuses were supposed to be able to pull in subs or pull in staff from wherever they can to be able to offer the rotation to everybody. So I just wanted to see what was going on out there. I know we're still addressing certain ones that are not working with their staff. Some have been corrected already, and trying to minimize. Also, there were some campuses that were trying to have everybody on school grounds on certain days, and it was defeating the purpose of trying to reduce unnecessary exposure. So, but just to have some input, some conversation on how you guys feel about that, the increased numbers of students returning to face-to-face. How can we continue to provide the rotation schedule for the employees, even though it's right now, it's only going to go up until February 22nd, but we're hoping that it will be a little bit longer than that, especially because of the increase in positive cases still that are going on. And, and also we're hoping that the vaccine is going to be made available a whole lot more. Especially I saw that CVS in Brownsville is going to be offering that. I think that is, if I'm not mistaken, I'm not sure, like maybe one of the only CVSs in the Valley. So that's pretty good. Props to them on that, for meeting all the requirements to be able to provide the vaccine on that. But anyway, let's have that conversation. What do y'all think about that, about the rotation schedule? What have y'all heard about it, ladies?
So I know I've had a conversation with my administration, and they're kind of stuck between a rock and a hard place. You have the district is opening the campus to any student that wants to come in, and then you're telling the administrator you're supposed to have a limit of 10 per class, but still you need to provide rotation, and some people need to work from home, but you can't go over 10 in the class, and make sure you pull from subs to help you cover to spread out the kids, but where do you spread them out if every class already has kids in it and there's no subs to help cover? So then pull the people for the rotation. Well, then what's the point of the rotation? It's just like a never ending like circle. Like a true rotation would have been limiting the students. I don't know what percent you could say of the district or at a campus can come in, and it's going to be left to maybe the I don't know, campus staff, kids, students who are at risk to fail, whatever the case may be, but it's a limit. And then you can truly offer a rotation if you have a limit. But if you don't have a limit of students, how can you expect an administrator to figure out how to make it stay at 10 and to find a sub from heaven and then to pull people from a rotation to cover to make sure to not have the more than 10, then the rotation doesn't exist once you do that. So what's the point? I don't get it.
Yeah. The thing would be that the district would have to stick to, just that open window of when they can switch from face to face to virtual and vice versa. But then you're looking at, what are you doing with those people who maybe at that time they could do virtual because the parent wasn't working and now they are. So you can't, are you going to say, pues ni modo, too bad. And then, what are they going to do? So it's definitely difficult on that one. So
that's not the fault of the administrator. That's not the administrator's fault.
Another issue is that, like, for example, the transparency is not there. Because there was one point that there was 5 elementary cafeterias that were closed. And I'm guessing they closed for 2 weeks, each elementary cafeteria. So parents look at the district, and the district is letting them think that everything's fine. There's no cases in the district. Nobody's getting sick. Everybody's fine. So we're going to open the school and you can bring your children. When we know, because we're there, that 5 elementary cafeterias closed, and it was because they either had the virus, they were either like maybe close to somebody that had it. Just as a precaution, I'm all for it. But the reality is that the virus is there. We just don't talk about it. And some of us think that if we really are very transparent with our parents, we might feel that we might get in trouble. Like, for example, if I go to my class and I announce or I just share what the district is sharing with us, that this elementaries were closed, am I going to get in trouble for saying that, for getting that information out to my parents? Because, like, nobody's saying anything, so everybody thinks everything's fine. So I'm going to start sending my children because, like, maybe now I can get a part-time job, or maybe now, instead of having 5 at home, I'll send the 2 little... or I'll send just 2 and keep the other 3 so I can manage better because everything's going on and everything's fine. And we're not being very transparent because we know that when you close or you just start looking everywhere and all of a sudden you don't have this teacher in this grade level and then that teacher's absent and then the other teacher's absent. You cannot ask, they cannot tell you because of the laws that protect our privacy and everything. But just by saying, you know what, there's a case on campus, would we get in trouble? Because, like, we want to be transparent to our parents. We feel responsible for our children and saying, you know what, everything's fine. You can send your kids. Imagine if all 20 of my parents would decide one day to send them.
Yeah.
That would be.
Absolutely. So in y'all's opinion, you think, like, I agree on what Tanya's saying. The transparency and the honesty needs to be there. I think that is absolutely not there. That's one of our biggest issues that we've had since this whole thing has started with the pandemic, that the district is not being completely upfront then because there's so much that can be hidden or misinterpreted with the confidentiality here and stuff like, oh, well, we can't tell you that yet, and this and that, and they use it to their advantage. Pero with that, I think, I mean, one thing I think that we need to do is, you know, as a association, we're pretty powerful because we're so large and we're in every school. I think maybe when you guys get notified as an employee that there has been an exposure at your campus, I think maybe what we need to do is we need to start publicizing those. We need to start putting them on our Facebook, and that way it gets out a little bit more. There was a positive outbreak at whatever, Gonzales, at Hannah, at, you know, whichever campus it is, and that way we keep the public informed, because I think that is something that it's not, you know, it's not being completely transparent anymore. It's because I think there's just so many issues. Antes it was publicized, you know, people were like posting this and that, but I think they've kind of gotten away from that. And maybe that's one way that we can make it, send that, the true picture of what it really is. Because I know there's some schools upstate that are, the teachers are being very honest with their parents. You know what, this is what they're facing. You know, the risk is going to be there. There's been this, and this, to in a way discourage the parents from sending their students, because you know,
reality. That's reality. We're not adding
it's reality.
We're just saying this is happening. I mean, because you're stating it after the fact. They closed the cafeterias because they had a serious concern. So you're just saying they closed the cafeteria at the school and they closed this cafeteria at the school. Some teachers were sent home. So you're stating it after the fact. So you're just stating a fact.
Yep.
You're not saying everybody's dangerous, although,
yeah.
Well, you never know,
I would,
right?
if I was at campus, and I would be upfront with my students. I mean, with my parents, I would let them know. You know what? You know, this is going on. Yes, there's been some outbreaks. Again, this and that. I'm not going to paint a picture of what it's not, because you know what? God forbid they send their student and their child gets ill. That is not going to fall on me. You know what? If you made that decision, it's because you knew what the true risk was and you chose to send them back. I'm not going to mislead you to think that they're going to be in a super safe area when they're not. You have no guarantee. You can be taking all the precautionary measures that you want to take. There's still going to be a chance of them getting exposed and coming out positive. So I would be honest with my parents and let them know. I'm not going to tell you what you want to hear just so you can send them back. No.
Yep. We need a governor that will back up teachers and staff. Amen.
Absolutely.
Groups of 60 educators should have either a comprehensive coach or blended facilitator. Don't know if that's happening. Would you know if BISD already gave out the 150 vaccine vouchers that superintendent received from the county? Did it get to teachers who needed it the most?
Apparently on those, it was supposed to go out to the 65 and over. What did happen was from the people that signed up, and the only reason that I know a little bit more on this one is because we did have a member that met those requirements and did sign up when you guys were given that list to get on, that opportunity to get on the list. If you had the opportunity, blah, blah, blah. Would you want the vaccine? Okay. This person was 65 and older and did sign up. So apparently they met all the 65 and older that wanted to get the vaccine. Those were all given the opportunity. And then what they did was that then they went 1 year younger and younger until all 150 were given out. Then at the last minute, they did just kind of like open it up for going further and further on the list because they were running out of time. And some people had originally qualified for it, but had already gotten the vaccine. So you had to kind of take those people off. So it opened up like, I think somebody said they told me it was like 50 some slots that it opened up because those people would have qualified for one of those vouchers, but they had already gotten their vaccines. So so that's why they went further, down the list on it. Was politics maybe playing a game in a few? Maybe. But that's how, because I don't get to see the list. We will not be able to see that list. But that is how they told me. But all 150 vouchers have been gone.
Unsure. Too many questions. If parents can refuse for their child to take the STAR test, 5 EOCs are a requirement for graduation.
For graduation, apparently, yes, the EOC is going to be a requirement. But for everybody else, I wouldn't send them. And oh my gosh, I don't know what I'd do if my child had to take their EOC to graduate. I don't know. It's a conversation I would have with them individually if that is something that you're going to want to put off.
Mm-hmm. I'm at home with COVID. I'm a first grade teacher and I feel stressed out. I don't know if I'm supposed to do them. Module 6B artifact is due February 10th and I'm still trying to complete Module 6B. What do I do?
Email your facilitator for that. Email them and explain your situation, and then let us know if your facilitator is not working with you. We will go ahead and bring it to the attention of the district of what's going on this. Because bottom line is your facilitator and Region 1 work for BISD. So we will bring it to the attention of BISD. I mean, you weren't expecting to be dealing with COVID or have COVID. So of course there has to be some type of plan where they're going to be able to work with you.
On flexibility.
Mm-hmm.
I would feel that way too. Our leaders were like that. I get anxiety every year over STAR testing, but this year I just might pass out. Exactly.
Yes.
Why do you STAR test like Fight Club? We don't talk about STAR tests.
Yes. That's a good one, David.
My students have noticed my stress and anxiety. I've been out in front of them twice. I just wasn't able to contain and as hard as I tried.
Marcia, I am so sorry. I am so sorry that you guys are going through this and stuff. But, just always just try to take a deep breath and realize that this is going to pass. We're going to get through it and stuff. Whatever it is that you cannot meet, that if it's these modules that you're talking about that you're dealing with, let's see what we can do on it. If there's no way you can keep up with it, let's see what we can do. Reach out to us. We're going to get through this. Do not give up on it. There will be a way to get it to help you get through this. And we're going to continue to push hard for the district to be able to see what it is that you guys are going through and to give you that professional development so you can be able to complete these modules. We're not going to give up on that. Okay.
And like Vero said earlier, like just turn everything off, walk away. Sometimes you just need to do that. I'm very blessed too. Like my husband, like his ear is like up to here sometimes because I just like talk to him and just vent. I am very blessed to be surrounded by a group of friends, teacher friends that would understand what I'm going through. So just talk to someone, pray, meditate, share it. And yes, sometimes it just helps to turn everything off and walk away.
Yes.
I mean, the work will be there tomorrow. So if
It will.
it's just so overwhelming, just take a break because you deserve it.
Absolutely.
Education should not be complicated. Just observing this. Why would one want to be an educator? Does homeschooling have to follow the Reading Academy?
Right. Give TEA an opportunity to see what they can do, and I'm sure they'll implement it there as well. It's sad what it's getting to, but this is why it's important to vote in people that are going to be able to listen to our issues and concerns, and then we see and we monitor what they do about it. Okay. Yep. What are they doing? Okay. Are you just going to listen and not take any action after that? Or let's see how you're going to vote. We're going to monitor all these things that you're doing. Are you really here to help public education employees? Okay. Because we're dying out here.
Yep.
My gosh.
The problem with rotation is that kids go one day and then they miss a week and then they come back. I thought the parents knew if they start 6 weeks at home, it's for 6 weeks. That's also true. That they do sign the commitment form, but then they're all over the place. They come, they don't come. There's been occasions where there's kids missing. Like, where were you? Oh, we decided to go to San Antonio. We decided to go. Okay, great. So you went and exposed yourself more, and now you came back today. Let me make sure I stay super far away. Don't be offended though. It's nothing against you. I just don't want to get sick, so don't get near me.
Yeah.
That's hard. And it's not the child's fault because obviously they're not the ones driving the car. But at the same time, it's like,
Yep. Exactly.
pros of having the rotation schedule is it limits teachers' time on campus. Cons, it exposes teachers with a higher number of students while on campus. Yeah, because you have to pick up students from another class.
Yeah. Very true.
I'm scared to go back to school. Yep. I've noticed more kids come each week. My anxiety gets very high when I go to do my para duties. I wear a double mask and sanitize every 15 minutes or so during my duty time.
Yeah.
And
And I'm
then I
sorry.
heard about a campus, like for example, like again, bringing on my campus. We spoke to our parents, right? And we're in constant communication. I try to contact every week and a half, 2 weeks. And I speak to my parents and I tell them everything that's going on. But I heard about other campuses where the administrators told them not to call parents and not to like convince them to not send their children because the school was open and everybody had a right to send them. And I say, yes, but you also have to like tell them, look, these are my concerns. This is what's going on. And I told my parents, subscribe to BISD Facebook, check on the website, and check on Facebook, every news that you can get from the district, because there you're gonna find out what's going on. It's not just my word. Like, and I do have an open line of communication with my parents, but there's some teachers out there that are afraid to even speak up because they were told not to by their administrators.
Yeah. And I'm sorry, it's not that I'm not going to convince the parent. I'm going to just be honest with the parent.
We're going to state facts. We're stating facts.
Yeah. So,
Can I sign up with AOBE right now? Yes, Eli, you may.
Eli, go to our website. It's here at the bottom, panel thing that's going there. You can go there to myaobe.com and you can just click on the link where to sign up. I believe it says AOBE application, and it's very simple. It walks you through the process of it.
I just posted it in the chat.
Oh, there you go.
Region 1 overlooking districts, then BISD is no longer an independent district. You cannot serve two masters.
Very true. But you see, bottom line is BISD can't tell Region 1. So that's why we are going to bring it to the district's attention. You know, we're going to try to work with Region 1 and let them know the issues that we're having. But bottom line is the district is the one that decides this. And bottom line, the final decision makers are going to be the school board members. So we will bring this to their attention. This is where all together, you know, we work together to organize this and expose the issues that we're having. And sometimes the school board members do not know the issues that we're having. Like, you know, a lot of them, and this is what I'm coming out to find out, that it breaks it down by the different cohorts. You know, Lori is telling us, you know, look at where she's at. And I'm going to talk to her about, you know, what's going on in hers in comparison to these other ones. So it could be just that the facilitators are making it very difficult. And in another district, it's completely different and they're not having any issues at all with their reading academy. So it's just, you know, it's very subjective to the facilitator. But we're here to expose this and see what we need to do to make it better.
Yep. You know, they closed the cafeteria because someone in there got it, and these workers are the ones giving food to them. It's scary, and it's just common sense. Yeah.
It's very scary.
Stay safe and stay strong. Yes.
Amen.
I wish I could rotate with my team, but we have too many kids already. We would surpass this 10 student limit.
Mm-hmm. Sandra, text me to that number to see what campus you're at. that you're at, let me know that the text is from you, because some people are telling me, but I don't know who it's coming from. But text to 621-3011. I want to know what campus you're at.
I have been told not to publicize anything on social media. I have been told several times I can get in trouble for that.
It depends on what you're publicizing. Okay. So, on that, it depends what you're putting out there.
Like my suggestion would be just follow the BISD Facebook and just share it the way it is, because they are now like making it public, and they just mentioned this cafeteria is going to be closed. This cafeteria is going to be closed. Like at least the cafeterias, it's coming, like it's public knowledge. Just share it like the way they post it.
The big problem is that if someone comes out positive in the campus, we as employees will not find out until years later or so. And if that person remembers who she is exactly, if they remember who they were in contact with. I don't even remember who I saw today.
Well,
Exactly.
and then they go down the chart that they have, and the first question, I believe, is were you wearing the mask? And if you say yes, okay, then you're fine.
That's it. Mm-hmm. We keep hearing be flexible with parents, with students, with admin, but no one is being flexible with teachers. Thank you.
Amen.
Thank you.
Absolutely. And that's what we're here to continue to push for. They need to see your side and what you guys are facing.
Yeah. Mr. Picasso, health comes first. Stressing will not change the outcome of attendance, missing assignments, scores, class, or anything that is pending. It will only affect your health. Relax. Whoever does not approve you seem calm, well, that is very much their problem.
Very true.
Can I have 2 associations? I already belong to A2P, but I know you are more involved with it. Yes, you can have. That's totally your choice. You can have as many organizations or associations as you wish. I feel like in a toxic relationship being a teacher. Toxica. Yes, that's true. Very true. Always stressed, paranoid, and I'm not in control. Amen.
It is.
All a toxic relationship.
That's going to be the title of our show next Thursday. Thank you, Mr. Vega. Toxica. But it's true. It's funny, but it's very true if you really think about it. It is a toxic relationship.
Wow.
Crazy. Oh my God.
That's funny.
Toxica. I love it. That's our last comment, Miss Ida.
All right. Okay. Well,
And we have to go out with a Toxica bang.
there you go. Perfect. I do want to thank everybody for their input on this and for the messages and all of that. Guys, continue to hang in there. Like I said, we're pushing to try to remove as much as we can from your plates. We're bringing all these concerns to administration and to the school board members. So continue, please, to give us your input on these different things. We will see what needs to be done on these facilitators for the reading academies. So just continue to hang in there, stay safe. You take it one day at a time. And, when you have to shut down the computer and the phone, it's okay. You do that. You don't let these people, any facilitator or anybody like that, question your ability as a teacher. Okay. Because these people have not stepped in the classroom in about 5 to 10 to 15 years. I can guarantee you that, probably. So,
you can also guarantee they haven't stepped in a classroom during a pandemic.
Absolutely. So you don't let these people that have been just behind a desk tell you how what type of teacher you are being or make you feel insecure of that. Okay. So you hang in there, and together we're going to continue to get through this. Okay, guys. So we thank you so much for being here with us and for being a member with AOBE. We're blessed to be able to have such great, strong, and outspoken members. I'm very proud of a lot of our people that have been stepping up, reaching out to board members, reaching out to administrators. Yes, even like our new board member here below, Tanya, and we've gotten a lot of people.
Thank you for having me here, and I always felt like I was supported. I always felt like AOB had my back. I felt empowered because, like, by myself, I was already speaking up and I was raising my voice. I want to send a message to everybody out there. Nobody should get after you for defending yourself, for having somebody else's back. I mean, you're just voicing your concerns. If you are a teacher that dedicated and then here for the love, like which I said earlier, like, I don't know why somebody would want to become a teacher. And I hear that a lot of times, but it's because of the love we have for the children, for our like profession. So if you're speaking up and raising your voice because you feel you're not being treated fairly, nobody should get after you. And if they do, give us a call.
Mm-hmm. That's right.
1,000% agree with Miss Tanya. Just because we are teachers does not mean we lose our voice. Our voice is important. Our voice is the change that needs to come for our students, for our future, because they are our future. And AOBE is here to be your voice if you're not ready to use yours. That's why we're here. Guys, thank you so much for staying here watching with us for, what are we at now? An hour and 45 minutes. Thank you for being a part of an association that is determined to make things better and is not afraid to speak the truth. And I just want to say thank you, guys. Stay safe, stay strong, put through. We're gonna make it somehow we're gonna make it. So again, thank you so much for joining us. Like our YouTube page, subscribe, and sign up for the alerts so that you can get an alert when we're going to be going live. Thank you so much, everybody. Have a wonderful evening, and we'll see you next week.
Thank you, guys. God bless.
Bye.